Good Tuesday morning, everybody. This is Wendy from News Force, and we have breaking news coming out of Istanbul. We had a 6.2 slammer jammer go off. Let's go ahead and get a quick report on that. A powerful 6.2 magnitude earthquake rattles Istanbul. Quite a bit of chaos going on. Just happened about an hour ago, guys. It was off the coast. We'll take a look at that on the map. You can see not too terribly much damage where they're showing. It rattled things pretty good. Thank God it was off the coast. Oh yeah, they took some shakers. Wow. Well, it's definitely showing the structures are strong. So this was at 12:49 p.m. their time. It really rattled them pretty good. 6.2 is pretty high. And the fun part about it is what it struck at, what depth. We'll be taking a look at that. So here we are at the maps, guys. Here's the United States right here. All right, let's go ahead and head over to Istanbul. All right, so if you don't know Istanbul, you could probably see it already. Look at that slammer jammer, guys. Okay, Istanbul is inside of Turkey, okay? And we're coming in on it right now. Let me back up. There's so many explosions. Look at how active it is in this area, you guys. We're going to town on that area. Turkey, it was time for them to be cleaned up. It's been going on, I don't know, probably 6 months to a year maybe, where it looks like this just about every day, but not this explosive like you see right here, okay? That is just an absolute war to peace right there. They are going at it in that section of Greece. Let's just go on in for a zoom, guys. Okay, so you can barely see the words, but there's Greece. Look at all that action, guys, and this has been going on for months and months and months. Okay, here is Athens right here, guys. Okay, a lot of action. Looks like they got a break overnight because the circles are orange and yellow. All right, let's go on over, guys, and take a look at our slammer jammer right over here in Istanbul. You can see all of the blue reports. People reporting it all over the place. Wow, look at all that. Unbelievable. So you can see once again the same pattern I show you guys. All right, they work on it like all night long. Look at all that went on in the last 24 hours. You can tell they started up a new section. Okay, so they'll be pretty active in here. So what they did was they hit this one right here. That's the 6.2. Let's click on it and get a look at what it is. All right, it was 4 hours ago. All right, in Marmara, Turkey. And look at that, guys, 6.2. And yes, folks, it was a main. That is what's fun about this, putting this out to you guys. We hit a main slammer jammer. That stinker was huge. And we took it right on out. And you can see that they've been working really hard on getting rid of everything else around it too. Look at all that action in the last 24 hours. And you can see which way they hit it just by looking at the spray. So you can see which direction the spray, and what I mean by the spray, let me clear this stuff out of here. Okay. What I mean by the spray is the reports of shaking. You can always tell by the way people report the shaking where the strongest frequencies were from the blast when they went ahead and slammed it. So I am going to say that, of course, it always comes from the top, but it's only takes a slight angle, just like firing a weapon. All it takes is moving your hand just a little bit, okay? And it alters the way that frequency goes at somebody. So to me, it looks like it would have come on in just a little bit like this, because you can see the frequency really jumbled up right there. Let's go ahead and get on in and just take a look at some of these reports. Berkshire, okay, Berkshire, it looks like just outside of that. In Istanbul took the biggest hit for the frequency reports. Okay, so here's Istanbul right here, guys. And let's go on in and just, let's take the orange one because that's a higher report. Severe shaking just off of the water there. Okay, and then we have another one. Let's see, there was another one. Here's a yellow one. Strong shaking being reported. Okay, let's click on a few more here and just get a taste of what they experienced. All right, here we go. These are the ones I like. You guys know that. I was on the couch when it started. A clock fell off my shelf and shattered. Not sure how long it lasted because my legs were shaking so badly when I ran to get my son. Very scary. Yes, they are very, very scary. Most of the time when the white hat military hits these, okay, with direct energy weapons, they do everything in their power to save lives and spare lives any which way they can. Definitely a priority, humans, right now, with all the things going on in the world right now. We know that human life has been struck. There's been a war against us, and there is a small percentage of humans left, and we need to repopulate. So, when this is all said and done, those of you that would like to, be mothers and fathers, and moms come on home with the kids again and be home with them the first 5 years, that's a very good choice. We need to repopulate with very pure blood of the purest, without any jabs and stabs, and just let the human be what it's supposed to be, like that. Okay, this one reports, I could definitely feel that, like a huge truck would pass by. Yeah, I'm sure. Let's go in and just take a look. All right, so off of Mumaku, SK. That's how they name their streets. It's SK, not ST. Okay, let's come on back out. And if you want, you guys can come to this map, all right, and take a look. Pretty heavy duty reportings from this. I see it as far south. And over here, you guys, now look, it's opening up. Over here, the spread is. We weren't seeing this before. All right, so now I changed my mind on which way they hit. All right, let's just take a look and pull that out. Just about dead on. Just about dead on they hit that. For sure. And it went as far as Romania. Here's Romania. And they have reports as far as Poland, guys, in Warsaw. Let's just take a look. Yep, 4 hours ago, so it pins to it. Weak shaking. Wow. As far as Poland. Holy cannoli, guys. That's a heck of a... Here, it even goes farther. Estonia. Let's just go ahead and... I got to get my pen off. Strong shaking being reported. Very interesting. Okay, but everybody's degree of shaking is different. Depends on if you've been through an earthquake or not before, I would say. So let's go back down real quick. And I just want to come in since this is our new baby, and we'll be checking up on it from time to time to see the progress. Here's our twins. Always twins involved. Always twins involved. Let's see if it turns out to be the same exact time, same exact depth. All right, here we go. All right, another 10 km. They're going to town. They're done with this area. They're like, all right, let's get in there, finish her up, and get out of there. That's a 5.0. That's a really heavy duty slammer jammer. And that was 3 hours ago. What was the depth? Was the 10 km. Let's take a look at this one. Whoops, so many of them. Okay, guys. Okay, this was at a 4.0 km, and that was a 5.0 blast, too. And that, again, was 4 hours ago, so it was an hour it was an hour before. Sorry about all the clicking, guys. I'm having trouble with the map. It was about an hour before those other two large ones took place. This one, and of course, the reason for this report right over here, our real slammer jammer. Let's just peek on this one to the east. Take a look. This was an hour ago, you guys, so this baby was fresh and new. 10 km. There we go. Slammer jammer on their main tunnels. I love seeing that. And you never know how big these are. Usually you can tell by the magnitude of what they hit it at, of how large it was. Whether it was a large city, a large military base or something like that. Excuse me, I had to take a drink. So very exciting. Congratulations, Istanbul. We'll get you cleaned up and get all that crazy noise out of there so you can have your area and your land back again. So there you guys go. Istanbul. I'll report more later on it as they come in with videos and stuff. Guys, keep your eyes out on News Force. With that, that's Wendy from News Force. Over and out.